Welcome back to Bible Alive. I'm Dwight Hall with my co-host, Pastor Mark Howard. Good to have you here, Pastor Mark.
It's great to be here, Dwight, as always, and what a great message by Danny Shelton.
That's right. You know, we've only got to listen to half of it, and it's really touched my heart because it's a message that every one of us should really think about and put into practice, the church rumor mill. If you haven't seen it, we're going to recap some special moments of the last episode, so stay tuned.
I can do nothing without Christ, but number two is I can accomplish all things through Christ. How do I know that? The Bible tells me so, right? And when they stopped him, he said, "You can't do this, you don't understand." They said, "What?" He said, "Danny Shelton and I have to die today. The Lord told me to kill him." I can't imagine how this possibly could have happened, that the angels in the very presence of God could be drawn away. Can you? Now, if the angels in the very presence of God can be drawn away from him, what about you and me today? Okay, some of you that way. All right, my parents loved the Lord, no doubt about it, but they tried to, without doing it on purpose or maybe even realizing it, as I look back now, our family mostly was getting to heaven by our works because we were different than our neighbors. We didn't do the things that the neighbors did. The kids, my four brothers and all of us, five in my family, the kids, we didn't do the things that the other kids did. So therefore, without really saying it, you kind of feel like you're okay because you're not doing. My brother and I played fast pitch softball for years, and we'd play 100 games in the summer. And we didn't, after the games, we didn't go to the bars and drink and do all these things, so we thought we were okay. Because, hey, we're Christians. We're not like those other guys. But what we would do, Sabbath, let's say it was a Sabbath evening, sundown was 8:12 Friday night. We would play till 8:11, my brother and I, right? No, we're not legalists. I mean, we're Christians. We're Seventh-day Adventists. We'd play till 8:11. Then we would put in 2 subs and we'd go home and our team would finish the game. Then the next evening, Saturday night, we would go to the ball game, go out to the ballpark, dress about 2 hours early. We would park way away about an hour when our team started playing because it wouldn't be quite sundown so everybody wouldn't see us. And we'd watch what happens. And at 8:13, we'd call timeout and put ourselves back in the game. Now, I'm serious. We did that. And we thought we were okay. Well, we'd gone to church that Sabbath. We kept the Sabbath. Well, I mean, we didn't guard the edge real closely, but we kept the Sabbath. We're not going out drinking or running around on our wives after the ball game. We're Christians. You see, later, even when I was married, that there were times I would rather have been somewhere else than in church. I'm the only one that feels that way, I know, right? I would rather have been, yet I love the Lord. I didn't do all the things that people were doing around me. I tried to do my best for the Lord, but I would have rather been an occasion somewhere else than I would have been in a church on Sabbath. But I went because I wanted to be saved. So I said, I need to go because I want to be saved. It wasn't really until my wife Kay, my daughter Melody's mother, was killed in an automobile accident in 1982, June 30th, 1982, that I really became a Christian, that I really developed a relationship. You see, a lot of people say, I ask them now, are you a Christian? Well, of course I'm a Christian. I was raised an Adventist. I say, yeah, I know, but are you a Christian? You know, oh, I'm very religious. I say, yeah, and so what? Sorry, I'm sometimes direct. So what? And they always are puzzled. Well, here's what I mean by it. I said, so what? You're religious? Well, a person who drinks alcohol, who's an alcoholic, drinks religiously. A person who smokes cigarettes smokes religiously. A person who does drugs religiously. So being religious doesn't mean anything, right? It's a relationship, folks. What we need to develop is a relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ. When I saw my daughter Melody, who had been thrown through the windshield in the accident with her mother, had a broken arm, cuts, bruises all over her body. That night, I literally laid awake with her all night and tried to encourage her that the thief cometh not but for to steal, kill, and to destroy. John 10:10. I was putting out word that I knew, but I hadn't really lived it in my own life because I didn't want her to be mad at God. I read 1 Peter 5:7, casting all your cares on him, for he careth for you. The 23rd Psalms, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. I began to, all night long, so towards morning, she was running a temperature, her arm was swelling. I said, honey, she's 11 years old, we got to get somebody to sing for your mama's funeral. Who could we get? She said, Daddy, based on what we talked about all night, I want to sing. And she said, Mom would want me to sing, and Jesus would want me to sing. I want to tell you something, folks, that changed my life. I said, Lord, I want the kind of relationship that my 11-year-old daughter has. I don't have that because right now I don't feel like singing for her funeral. I don't feel like anything right now good. This is a terrible thing that we've been robbed of. And so my daughter Melody showed me what the difference between religion and relationship. My religion said, I'm not singing. I don't feel like it. This is too bad. The relationship that she had been experiencing. That's why Jesus said, you must be born again, right? Like a young child. Because her faith and her trust that her mama had taught her and what we had put in there had turned into something that was working. So she was able to that morning go early and we at the funeral, and she was able to sing 2 songs. If Heaven Never Was Promised to Me, and then I Want to Be Remembered as the Girl Who Sing Her Songs for Jesus Christ, a song that this Evie used to sing years ago. And that changed my life. From that point on, then she and I got in ministry, and it's when I began traveling to all these different television stations singing. I would say, Lord, where are Seventh-day Adventists in the media? You know, as the old saying goes, the farther we go, the behinder we get. I would go to these TBN stations to sing, my daughter and I, and people would be in the back room, and they'd have all their snacks out, and people fellowshipping all the artists and guests who were going to be in preachers, and they'd say, hey, where are you from? Oh, I'm such and such. What church you go to? Oh, I'm the Church of the Dove. And oh, I'm such and such charismatic. I'm whatever. Hey, brother, what church you from? I say, I'm Seventh-day Adventist. Oh, Seventh-day Adventist. Well, I got a brother that's a cousin that's a Mormon. I say, oh, really? I don't know anything about Mormons. I say, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. Oh, yeah. You know, I used to work with a Jehovah's Witness. I said, well, I don't know anything about Jehovah's Witness because I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. Oh. And they'd walk away. It happened over and over. I said, Lord, why don't people even know who we are? If we think we have the truth, Seventh-day Adventists think they have the truth, and people don't even know who we are. I mean, everywhere we go, Lord, why doesn't the church build a television stations? We see how effective they are. I saw the prayer lines and saw the responses that people would get as we sang on different television stations. Lord, where are Seventh-day Adventists in the media? And I was really crying out to God on November 14th, 1984. Lord, why doesn't the church do this? And I heard this still small voice that said, I want you to build a television station that will reach the world with an undiluted 3 angels messages, one that would counteract the counterfeit. Now, I knew it wasn't Danny Shelton because I had no idea what that meant. I could argue with you about the Sabbath. I could argue with you about the state of the dead, but I really didn't know about the 3 angels' messages. I had to go read Revelation, the 14th chapter. I had heard enough about it, of course, but the extent of it, what's so different? I thought just preaching the Sabbath was it. And I want you to build a television station that will reach the world. I'd never heard about diluted or undiluted. Undiluted 3 angels' messages, one that would counteract the counterfeit. And I didn't know what that meant. And so as I began to travel, the Lord showed me, and I began to say, okay,